What's up guys, Troy here, and welcome to my video for my gaming setup. I basically just wanted to do a quick video on my setup on where I do all my gaming, my editing, and rendering on both the console and PC side. Now if you bear with me here, I apologize in advance. I am filming this on my iPhone, so it's probably not going to be the greatest video quality or audio quality, and it might be a little herky-jerky in its movements. And also the secondary sound is, you'll probably hear, is me rolling around on my desk chair. I have hardwood floors, so I'll be rolling around. That'll probably create a bunch of ambient sound, but I apologize in advance, but let's get to the actual setup. And I'm going to start over here and kind of work from the left and go all the way down to the right. I'm going to start over here with this kind of cheapo lawn chair I've got going on for my good little awesome storage setup. I have a Logitech K120, a standard membrane keyboard I bought for like $15-20 at Walmart. It's just a backup, a spare. I always like having a lot of spare input-output devices, mice, keyboards, and things like that. In case one of my main input-output devices goes down, I can just plug that in and go. Underneath the power strip surge protector here, I have an Acer netbook and a Lenovo notebook. I've had the Acer for about a year or two, and I've had the Lenovo for a good 5 or 6 years. I really don't use those anymore. Pretty much only use them when I'm going out of town, and I need a plain Jane internet connection to watch YouTube vids, check my email, and stuff of that nature. But you know, I always keep them handy just for that. Not the best cable management in the world, I know. It's something I'm going to work on in the future once I upgrade some, get some extra things, and get my setup really how I want it. Now my PC is down here. I'm going to talk about my PC towards the end of the video. It's a little bit more in depth, so I'm going to cover what's on the desk first. Now, starting with the desk itself, this is an IKEA desk I bought at IKEA. I actually bought it online from their online store. It cost me $50 even, and I believe it was $75 with taxes, shipping and handling and all that such. I like it. Very minimalistic look to it, very clean lines, very straight, very spacious. I like the birch veneer top and how it contrasts quite well with all my black electronics. It just makes it give it a very nice clean feel to it, and I really enjoy that. Now we're going to start on the left here and kind of work our way down. Now the number one accessory that's needed whenever you're gaming, editing, rendering, doing narrations is of course the beer. I'm quite a beer connoisseur. My brother-in-law actually brews his own beer, but I've been trying a lot of new beers, and I like this Red's Apple Ale. This is actually one of my favorites. I've been drinking this for about 2 months now. Quite good. Yeah, my PC updated. Cool. But speaking of the different accessories, we're going to talk about different things here. Now these are my PX21s. I got these off of Amazon for about 55, 60 bucks, I believe. I use these for both console and PC. These are a pretty damn good headset, separate audio channels for both your in-game comms on your mic and your actual sound effects for whatever game you're running in. Different audio levels that you can adjust on the little controller here. And I do all my narrations, my post-production narrations on this. That's not, I would not recommend using this for narrations. I would actually recommend getting a standalone mic. I plan on upgrading to a Blue Yeti mic just for my commentaries, my post-production after-the-fact commentaries for my YouTube vids. These are great for in-game comms, great for console. They're decent for PC. There are better options out there, such as the Logitech G35s or the Astro A40s, which is I'm probably gonna get a second headset and run those for my PC side and just keep these as my console headset. Speaking of sound, I have these Altec Lansing speakers. I've had these for a good 5 years. I keep these plugged into my PC, and then if I'm going to use my headset, I pretty much plug that in as well, and then just go into the control panel, switch over my sound output and stuff. But I pretty much just use these for listening to music when I'm narrating, or not when I'm narrating, but when I'm doing editing or rendering. Watching YouTube vids, I don't really feel like hassling with the headset. It gets a little uncomfortable sometimes wearing it for extended periods. So those are good. The only problem is I've had these for quite some time. They've taken some abuse. The left-hand speaker as the wiring went out, so it actually doesn't work other than the power. It actually doesn't have any sound output, and only the right-hand speaker actually works. But it's still decent, and I still like using them. Now onto the monitor. This monitor is connected to my PC via HDMI. It is an Asus 1920 by 1080p 23-inch with a 60 refresh rate. Is the VS238HP model. I like it. It cost me $140 on Newegg, and they want, I believe, $170, $175 now, so I got quite a good deal on it. I highly recommend it for a good mid-range monitor. I will upgrade to a second monitor. I want to get the BenQ 2420XL 24-inch flat screen monitor that runs at 120 Hz refresh rate, so it's a lot better if you're gaming on the PC side with very high frames per second. Now onto my PlayStation 3. This is the PlayStation 3 Slim model. It is the 120 gig. I bought this used about 2.5 years ago. It was almost 3 years ago actually. It was mid to late 2010 that I bought it. I like it. It hasn't failed me once yet, so I'm definitely satisfied with this purchase. It cost me about $215, $220, I believe. The vertical stand I got for it at Best Buy, it cost me about $8, a little over $8 at Best Buy. So that's definitely good. I like having it in the vertical position just to save space on my desk, really. If it was on the horizontal position, it would take up quite a bit of space and extend far out, which I really don't care for. And I have my PlayStation controller right there. Now onto my actual TV. This is what I do all my PlayStation gaming on. It's a Sanyo 20-something inch, I believe 27, 28, maybe 30 inch at the most. I'm not too sure on the inches. My father actually got me this TV about 2.5 years ago when I moved into the apartment I'm in now. So I didn't pay a dime for it. Full 720p HD. It doesn't go up to 1080, but it's decent enough for console gaming. So I've been quite satisfied with it. Now we're going to talk about some of the other input-output devices, my mice, my keyboards. And I want to talk about this mouse pad. It's really a desk pad because this takes up quite a bit of space. You put both your keyboard and your mouse on it. It is the Mionix Sargus 900. It's cost me about almost close to $30 on Newegg. And you can see it does not move. You can see my monitor kind of shake. It does not move. My keyboard's pretty well stabilized when I have my keyboard on it and my mouse. Both mice are very responsive on this mouse pad. I do have it. You see the logo in the top right-hand corner with the contoured edge right there. I do have it actually upside down, but I prefer to have the straight edge in line with the straight edge of my desk, so I have it flipped upside down on purpose. I like it. I highly recommend if you're looking for a good mouse pad. I used SteelSeries mouse pads before switching over to this Mionix, and they're both good brands, good companies, and make good quality products. Now onto the keyboards. I have basically two keyboards here with two different mice, and I've used different setups for gaming. This is the Razer Black Widow 2013 Standard Edition mechanical keyboard. It uses the Cherry MX Blue switches. You can see how they're very tactile, very responsive. I don't know why that got pulled up on my PC here, but they're very tactical, very responsive, very clicky sound to them. I really like them. This one cost me $99 even on Newegg. It has the glowing Razer logo. The Ultimate Edition, which you might have seen, has the backlit keys, has a green backlit key. I don't really need that when I'm gaming, whether on PC or on the console. I have both TVs and monitors on, so it provides enough light. Even with all my other lights turned off, it provides enough light that the backlit keys are really not an advantage. You're paying an extra $30 if you get the backlit Ultimate Edition. So I went with the Standard Edition. Only cost me $100, and I love that sound and great responsiveness. different macro keys on the side. It's just been a hell of a keyboard, and I highly recommend Razer keyboards. Now, before I bought the Razer Black Widow, I actually gamed on this thing. This is the Razer Nostromo. It's not mechanical. It uses standard membrane keys. It has 14 basic keys on the front side here, with a scroll wheel here that's also clickable, a separate button here, and kind of a joystick D-pad like setup, similar to the PlayStation with your space bar. Adjustable palm rest, so depending on your hand size, if you need, you have bigger hands or you have smaller hands, depending, you can adjust it, I think, 2 or 3 different positions. I keep it on the standard position. It's been perfect for me. I bought this off a Newegg for $50, brand new. Good introductory keyboard if you've never used a mouse and keyboard for first-person shooter. If you're used to the console side and you're used to the main controller, I'd start out with something like this. You can get your mouse or your keyboard movements down before upgrading to a larger standard size keyboard. They do make a newer version of this called the Razer Orb Weaver, which actually has, instead of 14 main keys here, it actually has 20, has a whole row of 5 up top here. And they use the Cherry MX Blue switches, mechanical switches, with a adjustable palm rest, with backlighting as well. It uses the Cherry MX Blues, which are pretty much the same on the Razer Black Widow. The only disadvantage, I would say, to buying the Razer Orb Weaver is they want $130 for it, whereas you can pay $99 even and get a full standard keyboard. And especially if you're playing on PC side, where if you got to switch over to typing, it would be better, instead of taking your hand off the Razer Orb Weaver or even the Razer Nostromo if you're using that, to just go over and type on a full standard keyboard. So I recommend upgrading to a full keyboard. But this has certainly served me well. I really do not use this anymore for gaming. I used to use it. Great piece of tech, but there are better options out there. So I do recommend it if you're a beginner to mouse and keyboard. I get a few accessories over here: my iPhone plug and charger, USB connection. I've got the Bluetooth, Sony official Bluetooth headset. Do not recommend these for gaming. They're not the greatest. Battery life does not last very long. I pretty much just use this for talking on the phone now when I'm sitting at my desk, surfing the web. I can talk on the phone, don't have to take my hands off of anything, don't have to hold the phone up to my ear. So I mean, that's about all it's good for now. Now onto the mice. Now I have 2 mice here. I use both Logitech. Now, while I really do enjoy Razer's products when it comes to keyboard, I think Logitech has the market hands down in terms of gaming mice. Now I have a standard, this is like $10 at Walmart, the Logitech M110 2-button mice, left and right mouse button, mid-scroll wheel. I basically use this as kind of a backup, kind of a complement to my K120 Logitech keyboard, basically just to browse the webs or YouTube, check email. Just a standard thing. I do not game on this mouse. It just doesn't perform up to the standard that I want a gaming mouse to perform up to. Now this is actually my gaming mouse. So this is a Logitech G500 wired. I do not do anything wireless. This is wired. 10 buttons. It has a scroll wheel in the middle, and you press this button down. Your scroll wheel can go into free-flowing mode. Press this button down again. It's kind of a clicky mode. On the fly DPI buttons. If it was plugged in, it's not plugged in right now, but if it was plugged in, you'd have 3 little buttons right here, or 3 little red LED lights that would show you where your on the fly DPI is. A maximum DPI, which is dots per inch, of 5700. It comes with a Logitech's set point software, so you can go in to the software when you install it onto your hard drive and change all of the macros and the different button operations. 3 side buttons for your thumb when you're playing. When I play Battlefield and other first-person shooters, I keybind certain operations. Like I'll have defibs here, my pistol there, ADS here, different operations like my med pack. If I press that in, rocket launcher, it makes gaming a lot easier, and I can take a lot of the operations that would be standard on your keyboard, move them over to your mouse. and I can perform on the fly a lot faster than other players who just use the standard keyboard setup. So that's pretty much everything on my desk. I really like my setup the way it is now, but now we're going to talk about my PC. I built my PC last year, 2012, mostly over the spring and summer of last year. I'm going to start with the case. The case is a Zalman Z9 Plus. It cost me $40 off a Newegg. I had a pretty good spring sale they had last spring of 2011, or 2012, I mean. I believe they want 60 or 65 now, so I got a decent deal off this case last year. I have a ASRock Z68 Pro 3 Gen 3 motherboard in it with a Intel Core i5 2500K CPU, which is probably the greatest CPU for gaming. Sapphire HD Radeon 6850, which is a mid-range card. Not the greatest, but not the weakest either. It gets the job done for what I do for gaming. I have a Western Digital 500 gig, 7200 RPM internal hard drive. I really like that hard drive. I plan on upgrading to a second hard drive soon because recording in Tr0y with a lot of the raw file outputs are quite large, tens of gigs. A hard drive space gets eaten up quite quickly. I have a 600 watt OZC ModStream power supply, and I'm only pulling about 310, maybe 315 watts with all my parts included. So I'm pretty good on my power supply for a while. With a 24 speed optical drive by Sony OptiArc. So that was real cheap. It only cost me about $25–30, somewhere in between there. But other than that, it's a pretty good PC. This PC pretty much set up specifically for gaming. If you wanted to game plus do editing and rendering, live streaming and things like that, I would advise people to upgrade to the Intel Core i7. They're much better suited for those CPU intensive tasks such as rendering and editing and stuff. Your graphics cards, the 6850s, 6870s are pretty good. The 7000 series of AMD are pretty good, and the 600 series of NVIDIA is pretty good. Pretty much except for the driver problems. I might down the line, maybe November, December of this year, 2013, upgrade my graphics card. I'm not too sure yet. Battlefield 4 is not coming out till February, March of 2014. So I've got some time to upgrade my graphics card, but the one thing I will upgrade soon is the internal hard drive, because I'm eating up a lot of hard drive space just recording on the PC side, even with the codecs I run and the Sony Vegas Pro and Tr0y, all the different settings that I run in those programs. Still eats up a lot of hard drive space, so I'd like to upgrade that. But other than that, my PC is pretty well future-proofed. A part here or there, part or two here or there, and I might upgrade. But other than that, I'm pretty satisfied with it. It didn't cost me much, only about $750. It would have been a lot cheaper if I didn't have to buy a new monitor. I actually had an Acer 23-inch monitor, 1920 by 1080p, 60 refresh rate, and I actually broke it. Because I used to actually have it hooked up to my PlayStation 3. I actually broke it one night playing Battlefield. So my PC, building my PC would have been a lot cheaper if I didn't have to buy a whole new monitor, which I'm still kicking myself in the ass for that one. That was just one of the dumbest things I ever did. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much my gaming setup. I'm pretty much satisfied with it. And, I like where it's come over the last 7-8 months, me building up my parts, building up my setup, and better things are to come in the future. But I like to hear what you guys think, and I really appreciate your time, guys. Thanks for watching.